Welcome to the podcast. Stop Crying Poser, greatest podcast known to man, as voted by both man and spiders, and even men who mated with a spider and developed superpowers, but still can't get his dick wet in that goddamn bitch Mary Jane. Welcome to the podcast, Stop Crying Poser. We do this podcast every single Friday, right around 3:30 p.m. Pacific time. The current time is 3:27, meaning we are 3 minutes early because maybe I have a busy day. Maybe I don't want to deal with you guys. I have a lot of things to talk about, but they all seem to be short topics, so we'll probably bust out of here in 25 minutes or so, so feel free to sit back. It's been a productive week. I go through these phases where for 1 month I get absolutely nothing done, and then I have a week or two where I do a lot of things, especially housework or things related to YouTube or editing. And right now, I've been trying to edit so much. I am so far behind on Steve Hates Skating. And the reason is because I didn't know that when I started criticizing skateboarders for being shitty, they would just dig their heels into the dirt harder. Because skating, after I began this series where I call out bad skaters for being bad, they started getting worse. Things did not get better. I thought if I pointed out these very obvious mistakes that skaters are making, that eventually they might clean up their tricks or professional skaters might act more professional, but instead they've gotten worse, which has increased my workload by triple, quadruple, quintuple, sextuple. So just been very busy and I've been sticking with it. I think maybe this week I might actually take a whole day off streaming because I'm like 15 videos behind. I was just complaining about this earlier before the podcast. If you look at these other YouTube channels or media companies like Thrasher or pretty much anyone trying to put out daily content, which they're not, by the way, it's only me. These guys have a media team of, 5 people, and then they're in some cube with 5 other people. It's one guy doing art, one guy doing thumbnails, one guy transcribing podcasts, one guy doing editing, one guy doing sound, and then I'm stuck here like I'm doing everything. One guy has to figure out the money. One guy has to figure out which posts to promote. One guy has to do this. One guy has to be the rep on the phone. I'm that guy for every single role, and it's becoming really overwhelming lately. But I think we'll figure it out, boys. Good problems to have, by the way. Having too much to do and trying to be successful at this is better than completely blowing it and achieving nothing. So at least we have that going on. What have I been doing this week? Well, there was someone here. Wait, did I shout everyone out? No, I did not. Captain Chloroform, Day-Day Satrib, Beth Rock, iBook Boy, Ron, Stop It, Node, for Droid, iBook Boy, I appreciate you guys for hanging out. I did tell you guys we do this podcast every single Friday, 3:30 p.m. Anyways, someone in the chat room suggested that I learned to make chicken katsu curry over rice. I looked up how to do it, and in my opinion, I kind of did it from scratch. Hear me out. I took the chicken thigh, not the chicken breast. It was already flat, didn't need to pound it out too much. Got an egg wash going. Egg wash, boom. Breadcrumbs, good. Egg wash again, double trouble. Breadcrumbs again, boom. Let it sit. Room temperature, shallow fry, both sides, good to go. I even did the thing where you drag the knife on the top of it, where it goes, pulled it off. Then came the curry. How do you make curry? I had to ask YouTube, and I didn't quite make it from scratch, but I made it from a well-respected brand of Japanese curry, which comes in these cubes. I used 2 little cubes, which are basically like chicken bouillon cubes, but with curry. And their curry is not really like a chicken bouillon. It was really thick like a gravy. And I got, yes, it was golden curry, Bethrock. I took a onion, and instead of chopping it small, I put that bitch on the cheese grater. I grated out these tiny pieces of onions, almost so small they melt in the sauce. Goodfellas style. Got those going, got them just a little bit caramelized. Then I threw in the other shit that I needed to do. The ingredients said, or the box said, to do potatoes and carrots. I told them to suck my dick, just did the onions. I added habanero powder to make it spicy as fuck. And then here's the part that's going to disappoint everyone. I got the rice out of a bag, 90-second bag of rice. I don't even think it was the right rice. I think it was jasmine, or I think it was jasmine rice. Maybe I was supposed to use basmati rice. Who even cares? The food came out really good, although the picture of it looked like shit. But curry, I feel like curry's not really a looker, right? Japanese curry, it's a fucking bowl where half the bowl is rice, half the bowl is slop, and then on top of that, you have your crispy fried chicken. So it's not the most photogenic of things. It doesn't have, the plate doesn't have any height. It doesn't have any bright, vibrant colors. You know, it's a bunch of shades of brown. But you know what? After I ate it and it went through my body, it was also going to be a shade of brown anyways. So who cares what it looked like? In the beginning, it came out perfect. I'm really enjoying sort of challenging myself to make new foods. So I will go ahead and ask you guys today, what food should I make for next week? And before one of you dumb fucks says a beef Wellington, no. We're making regular food that's good. No mushy peas bullshit. No tuna from a can and peas and beans. No. We're making real food. Maybe we'll try to do some kind of meat sauce for pasta that we've never done before. I think that might be fun. What did I do yesterday? It was a lot of things going on yesterday. The clouds came out and I said, man, I hope it doesn't rain. Cloudy day. We had some good weather. And especially in summertime, I end up neglecting things that I should be doing outside. For example, cleaning dog shit or messing with the ramp. I need to take my wet vac on the roof and suck out my my drain for my air conditioner. I got to do that, but I don't want to go out there and do that if it's 105 degrees, because you go out there and you immediately start hating your life. And I skated this week. I also hated my life doing that. There's nowhere to hide from the sun here in Las Vegas. All I do is I bitch about the heat. But I mean, for good reason, right? 500 people die every year, heat-related illnesses just in this county. It's very fucking awful outside. If you've ever, do you have an oven? Get inside of it and turn it as high as it goes, and then you'll kind of have an idea what it's like here. So I end up neglecting a lot of the tasks that I need to do, but I looked outside, I said, oh, it's kind of cloudy today. What a perfect time to clean my windows on my car. They are very dirty, and right as the sun sets, if I'm driving into the sun, you cannot see through my windshield. And it's also because there's so much dust here in Las Vegas. The rocks turn into dust, really fine moon dust that, you know, if you watch any of my skating videos, every time I ollie, there's a cloud of dust that comes off of it. No matter where I'm skating, especially if I land a trick, dust flies every direction. Watch any of my skate videos where I'm skating during the day and make it full screen and look really hard for the dust. You'll see it everywhere. So very dusty place, and it gets on your window and it gets in there and it's hard to remove. I got some window cleaner. Finally got the window cleaned. I said, man, what a great day it would be to go out and watch a baseball game. It was my friend's birthday. I said, I'll buy your ticket. I did not buy his ticket. I bought his beers, which ended up being perfect because it was $2 beer night. Haha, fucking sucker. I spent $8 on this guy. And had it not been $2 beer night, I would have ended up having to spend for that same amount of beer. I think it would have been, what, 12 times 4? $48. So I saved $40 going to the game on a Thursday. Anyways, got the windows all nice and clean. Life is good. I pull out of my driveway to go to the baseball stadium, and then a gigantic rainstorm happened immediately, thus ruining my windows again. There's a common thing that people say. I don't know if this is a West Coast thing or if this exists everywhere else in the world, but if you have a new vehicle, the thing that people always quote is, I know it's going to rain this week because I blank, finish the sentence, because I washed my car. That's like the running joke. Anytime you wash your car, no matter who it is, it will immediately rain. And remember, here in the Mojave Desert, it rains about 1 inch per year. We get almost no rain. Most of you, by January 4th, you have more rain where you live than we will have for the next 5 years. 4 days into your year is like 5 days of rain for us. But it always does, you know what? It always does seem like it is right after you wash your car. Anyways, I got through the stupid ass rain, went to the baseball game. Baseball game ended up being pretty fun. I'm not a huge fan of paying attention to the sports. I'm not even sure if you can bet on the game because it's AAA baseball. Maybe you can bet online, but I don't know if you can bet locally. So I'm not really invested in the score. I don't know any of the players' names. I can't name not one single player on the team. And I mean, on top of that, they don't even show these games on TV, right? It's just like, it's like amateur baseball. So I go there. I had to talk these guys into leaving early. I'm like, yeah, if we all leave at, the bottom of the ninth, we're going to hit a ton of traffic. And we're going to be waiting in line for 30 minutes just to get to the street. So we left at the bottom of the eighth, beat all the traffic. Then we went to this place called the Tap House, which is a bar, really old-timey bar, kind of has like a diner kind of theme. And it's known for having good Italian food. It's also known for the bartenders smoking giant cigars during their shift, which is unusual because a lot of bars don't allow any cigars anywhere. But I say a diner because it has like booth seating, and then it has seating with super tall tables. It has stained glass windows like a church. So it's a really unique place. And I never go to a restaurant and ever order bread because I'm not really a bread fan. I feel like even when I get pizza, I typically will get a thinner crust pizza because I want the ratio of cheese and toppings to be more than the amount of bread. So anyways, I'm with my buddy Johnny. It's his birthday. He orders the cheesy bread, cheesy garlic bread for $7. And I'm like, okay, I guess you're going to buy bread. We left the game early so that you could go buy bread like we're in the fucking Holocaust. Turns out we got the bread. It was the greatest bread I've ever had in my fucking life. It was just simple cheesy bread, and they brought up marinara. I swear to you, I thought if I would have closed my eyes, I would have been eating a cheese pizza. The greatest bread, except it had all the herbs and shit on it too. So good and very cheap and a huge portion. So just another one of those situations where I feel like I know everything. I feel like I know what I want to eat. I feel like I know what the best thing to do, regarding my money, what's the best bang for my buck? What am I going to enjoy the most? I feel like I know my own taste the most. Turns out I don't, which is why I think it's important to try new things as often as possible. I ended up getting a BLT. I went with something safe. Both Johnny and this guy Jay, they ended up getting pasta dish. They got 2 different pasta dishes, which ended up being pretty good. I mean, I didn't try them, but I looked at them. They looked great. So pretty fun day, considering that it rained. And oh yeah, also I got standing room only tickets because I know this stadium, it never fills up, so you can sit wherever you want. So I go and I sit in a spot, and I just pick a spot where there's, enough seats for our friends, because there's 4 of us. 2 other friends showed up, and then 2 other friends showed up that I didn't expect to see there. So now we got a group of like 8 people. And we're in this one little section. And then out of nowhere, it starts raining hard again. Not enough to call the game. There's no lightning. I guess that's a big deal. I think lightning has something to do with when they cancel games. Because someone in our seat pulled out their phone and they said, the closest lightning strike was 150 miles away. And I was like, what the fuck app is this? You have an app that tells you when lightning struck and how far away it was? Baseball fans, am I right? Anyways, we picked a seat that was so perfect that we were just outside of where the rain was landing. And everyone who was sitting closer to the game, they were fucked. They got all wet. I did not get wet. Also, something kind of funny. Something about human nature and waiting in lines. If you see a line, you kind of just hope that you're in the right line. Because if you walk around the line and go to the front, and then you're like, hey, am I in the right line? And someone's going to go, yes, you're in the right line. And then by the time you get back to where you were in line, the line's twice as long. Anyways, there was a line to get the $2 beers. And rather than waiting in that line, I walked all the way to the front. Just because I wanted to be positive that this was the line to get the $2 beers. And boy, am I happy I did that, because it was not. It was the wrong line. I walked around that line, found the real true line to get the $2 beers. Here's the thing, everyone in line, no one knew that. Everyone in that line thought they were in a line for $2 beers. Turns out they were in the hot dog line. The line was so goddamn long that no one knew what was at the end of it. That's why it's smart to go check it out. I checked it out. I waited 5 minutes. I got fucking 4 beers for, for $8. I gave him $3 tip, $11, 4 beers, boom, in, out. And those poor people waited in line for 20 straight minutes, got to the front of the line. They said, I'll have a $2 beer, please. And then they looked down and like, oh, this is actually a hot dog stand, sir. We don't have $2 beers. We have hot dogs. That's what we have. And they said, well, I waited in this line for 25 minutes. I need a $2 beer. And they will look you dead in your face and go, would you like me to turn this hot dog into a beer? Would you like to use your imagination? Do you see what I have in front of me? All I have is hot dogs. I got 2 different kinds. I got Cheeto dust. I got crema. We got Mexican hot dogs. I got corn. But looking around, nope, no beer here. Not even a freezer. Not even a refrigerator. Nothing. You waited in the wrong line. $2 beers over there, you dumb fuck. My point was, go out, explore, find out what line you're in. Moving on. I have been inspired. This upcoming week is going to be known as Salsa Week. What does that mean? Are you going to learn how to dance? No. I've been watching so many videos of, different types of authentic Mexican sausage. What the fuck? Sauces. Salsas. My God, sauce. See, hot dogs and sausages. Now I'm thinking of dicks all of a sudden. Pitos and fucking vergas all over my face. Salsa. My problem, keep it together, man. My problem was I don't have a blender. I have a small food processor, which is good for very small batches of things. But it's such a pain to clean. And it's old and it's messy, right? Sometimes it squirts shit on you, even if you're holding it down very hard. But I had never considered this before. I looked on Amazon, I looked up blenders. I found a pretty decent blender for $27. And I put it in my cart and I said, maybe I'll get this and I'll become a salsa god. Then I realized, do I need this blender? What am I going to use it for? Then I do this thing where I talk myself into shit. I'm like, well, maybe late at night I'll start making banana smoothies and healthy blueberry smoothies so I can get healthy at night. I started saying shit like that to myself, just lying to myself. You think I would ever fucking make a banana fucking smoothie late at night when I got Cheetos and fucking jalapeno poppers and salads and fun, delicious shit, Pringles? I know I shouldn't be eating all that stuff. I did say salads though, right? Anyways, I remembered I have a stick blender immersion blender that I never took out of the package. I typed in, can I use a stick blender to make salsa? It said, sí. Google AI was like, sí. I said, what the fuck is that? It means yes. So now I'm going to use that stick blender. I'm going to make so much salsa. I even bought these cups that will hold the salsa to where I can hand the salsas out to my friends, like gang members did with turkeys back in the 70s. And I will be known as the salsa god, or maybe the salsa poppy. What do you got? What should my name be? Salsa god? The salsa Jesus? The salsa Vishnu? Nah, they're not going to understand that. The salsa king? The liver king? The salsa, well, it's a work in progress. Anyways, I got so many of these, I got 50 different containers. That means I can hand out 50 different salsas. The salsa prophet, I love it. I will be the salsa prophet. Anyways, yeah, I got all these plans. I got everything I want to buy, all my lists. And also, after you make these salsas, most of them, they last a week. Do you think I could ever let a salsa last 6 days in my home? Do you think that's physically possible for me? No. It's not possible. So, probably starting on Sunday or Monday, whenever I get groceries, I'm going to go to the nice grocery store, the Smart and Final, that has all the nice produce. And the first one we're going to make 2 or 3 different types, right? We're going to do this all on stream, by the way, probably on Monday. We are going to make a very spicy avocado salsa with, oh my God, I'm drawing a blank right now. What are those? They start with an S. It's a jalapeno, but it's skinnier and it's spicier. Serrano. We're going to make Serrano in there. We're going to throw tomatillo in there. I'm going to throw reheated and rehydrated, blended chile de árbol. Guajillo will be in there. We're throwing everything. Habanero's going in there. And then we'll make some real traditional ones. I'll make an all red. Then I'll make an all green. It's going to be great. Also, there's like a creamy yellow one you can make. Oh, man. And then I'll start getting like my feel for what I like and what's the best. And then I'll start convincing all my friends they should eat it. And then I'll try to sell it to them like I always do. You guys remember when I started making bracelets? Man, what type of ADD do I have? What type of autism do I have? COVID started, I was like, I need a hobby. I bought a bunch of paracord, started making bracelets because I looked how to do it on YouTube. And I was like, I have too many bracelets. I'll try to sell them. My friends are like, why would I buy a bracelet made out of paracord? And of course me, I'm like, well, in case you're in a survival situation. Like, what the fuck? Who the fuck's ever in a survival situation where the one thing they need is paracord? I mean, I'm not saying it's never happened. Also, it's only like 5 feet of paracord. What are you really gonna do with that other than maybe make a little tourniquet out of it? Or in a real survival situation, maybe tie, you know what? Never mind. We're not gonna go there. We're not gonna go there anyways. The salsa prophet is back in business. And we're using the stick blender, and I'm excited. I saved myself $27. Thank God I did not impulsively buy that bullshit from Amazon. What else is going on? Chris Joslin. I saw someone mentioned Chris Joslin in the chat earlier. Let's talk a little bit about Chris Joslin. The lore is that many years ago, Chris Joslin tried to do a 360 flip down arguably the most famous skateboarding spot in the world. It's called El Toro. It's at some high school in California. It's a 20 stair, so a very hefty stair set, long, tall. It has a nice rail, or at least it did. They rebuilt it kind of, but it's about the same. Anyways, many years back, Chris Joslin went there. He did a 360 flip. He kind of landed it. His truck, part of his skateboard broke. And then he fell off of the skateboard. And as you guys know, skateboarders nowadays are part of the good enough for me generation, right? The participation award generation. You know, we have people on Adidas who cannot do a switch kickflip. The bar has lowered tremendously. So, you know, obviously Chris Joslin, being a lifelong skateboarder, he did the trick, he fell, and if you asked him, do you think that counts as a clean landing, he would look at you and he'd say, no, that was terrible. My truck broke. I did not land it. I wish I would have, but I didn't. I could not land it on that day. But if you ask every person who's been skating for 3 months, they would say, no, that definitely counts. Because if I did it, I would count that. And then you look at them and you go, well, you can't. And you can't even do the trick on flat ground. You probably can't do that trick in a video game. So I don't think anyone's asking for your opinion. It seems to be a lot of people who've been skating less than 1 year that have a huge opinion on the culture of the past 30 years of skating, and they believe that they are correct about everything they say about lifelong skater Chris Joselyn. Now, I would count it. If it was me, I would have counted it. It's not you. You can't do anything. The reason you would have counted it is because you're just trying to pretend you're a part of this culture without actually getting good at it. It's a lot better to be on the outside looking in, being like, well, if I have an opinion about it, it kind of makes me a part of it. No, you have to go out and you have to get on the skateboard. For you to be a part of skateboarding, you have to get on the skateboard and then do some shit on it. No, I don't. No, I don't. As long as I'm having fun, I'm a skateboarder now. That's why your opinion doesn't matter, and that's why professional skaters would never look to you for advice. Even though you guys will always be giving your advice, no one looks to you for the advice. Anyways, the idea is Thrasher posted 3 or 4 days ago the cover of their next magazine, and it's Chris Joselyn doing a tray flip down the exact same stair set. He came back how many years later? 6, 7, 8, 9 years later, and he tried the trick again, and one can only assume, based off of Thrasher putting that on the cover of their magazine, that he must have landed it. Although I personally have not seen the footage. So that made Chris Joselyn overnight sort of a trending name in skateboarding right now. So I took a video that I made 9 years ago where Chris Joselyn was in a competition, like a skate jam called Bust or Bail. I think it was called Cinco de Slamo, where there was a 4 flat 4 flat 4 where he landed a big tray flip and then he landed a big spin. And I was laughing at the idea that he clipped the final stair. So rather than ollieing over all the stairs, he ollied over 90% of them and then clipped the last one, but still managed to roll away. Impressive that he even like looking down at the stairs and saying, "Oh, I'm not going to clear it." A lot of skaters would kick their board away. And I made a skit where I was pretending that 2 young skaters were watching him skate, laughing at the idea that he did not make it across. It's a really low level, like super obvious humor, right? The joke could not be more obvious because the voice I'm making is like this. I'm laughing like this. I cannot believe it. I even put on some like Hispanic Dexter's Lab voice, so that it would be so obnoxious of a video that no one on earth could ever confuse this video for being a serious video filled with hate. Because I made all the characters talk like this, so it's very clearly like a South Park episode or something. But then, you gotta remember, that video came out 9 years ago. Skateboarders 9 years ago understood jokes. Skateboarders today, if they see anything that kind of seems funny, what they do now is they find a way to be offended. They go, "Oh, keep being so mean. You are full of hate. Your heart is full of hate. You must hate yourself, and you hate skateboarding. You hate the culture. You want him to die. You must want Chris Joselyn to die for making this funny video where everyone laughs. I bet you wish death upon him on a daily basis. And I'm so furious about this video because it's clearly a very serious video, and it's seriously pissing me off and hurting my feelings." I've made this joke before. At this point, I have to put on a clown nose and clown hair for anyone to understand what is a joke and what's not a joke. It's not as if I'm saying that I'm there with a straight face saying, Chris Joselyn clipped his board right there, man. Dude, that actually doesn't even count. Probably shouldn't have even got the prize money, dude. He's probably working with Thrasher and they have some type of deal. I could understand if I said it with a straight face like that, if I pretended I was Chris Roberts. I could see maybe people taking it seriously.
But they take it serious even when I talk like this. They take it so serious.
So I got a bunch of comments today that were like, you know, you can't do it. You can't do it. You're not able to do it. They would never invite you to a competition like that. Chris Joselyn would never laugh at this. No one involved would ever laugh at this. No one in skating even cares about you. And then I go, well, we are in talks right now with the company, and the people I'm talking to with Plan B thought the video was very funny. And they are going to support me doing a giveaway of Chris Joselyn's new skateboard. So just so anyone out there, if you were crying and you were offended, I want to let you know that the real skateboarders and the real brand and all the real people who really ride skateboards, when they look at a funny video, they laugh at it. They don't look around and try to find a way to be offended. And they appreciated my video so much that they're sending boards for me to give away to other people. See, the thing is that all the people that actually do skateboarding tricks, not the Instagram kids who go to the skate park and sit down and play on their phone. The guys that are actually out there sweating, doing the skateboarding tricks, the ones that have, bothered to skate long enough to do a switch trick. I mean, obviously not T-Funk, but everyone else in skateboarding who can, anyone who spent more than 6 months on the board, all of those people understand the joke. All of the other people that are just praying, desperately looking for a way to be offended. See, first world problems, like skating is one of those things where the pro skaters are not offended. They look at the jokes and they laugh. The new skaters they are being offended on behalf of the pros. They are now pretending they live in Chris Joselyn's mind, and they are pretending that they are feeling his emotions. What kind of mental illness do you fucking new generation skateboarders have for you to have to pretend and make a fantasy that you are Chris Joselyn and that you are speaking for him, through him, telepathically on Instagram to me? Well, guess who's not getting a free skateboard? Guess who's just got themselves kicked out of the giveaway? And I'm sure that's even another reason to be offended. I got to figure out a fun way to shorten that rant. When I eventually do announce the giveaway, I'm going to figure out a way to shorten that rant and turn it into like maybe a 45-second like commercial spot. And very excited about that. I do think it's funny though. People are being offended on behalf of skateboarders. They're telling some 13-year-old is telling me Chris Joselyn's thoughts right now. Anyways, we're coming out with new t-shirts. The t-shirts are called Rolling Down a Hill. It's so much work for me to get these shirts to be the way I want them to be, because I'm not super artistic and I'm kind of slow with Photoshop. I know a lot of you guys have been asking for a Rolling Down a Hill shirt, but I wanted it to be something better than just letters on a t-shirt. And I promise you, when these shirts come out, there's currently, I think, 8 different designs all coming out that are kind of similar, which will come out as 16 different t-shirt styles. Some will be pocket style logos and some will be full frontal logo. I promise you guys will like these shirts. You just got to be patient and give me more time. It's hard for me. I'm going to go hire somebody from Thailand or Indonesia to do this artwork for me. I have the main artwork already done. but I need I need to do more, and we're working on it. We're working on it, and I'm closer to getting this done than you guys think. Hoping these can be out in 2 weeks, but that's a bit of a stretch. What else is going on? JOSLIN 360 flip, we talked about that. I've gotten back into the habit of making lists for the things I need to achieve. We talked about this probably about a year ago. I was getting a lot of stuff done around the house, just basic things that needed to be fixed. And now, new vacuum, I'm going around. I'm now like focusing on cleaning the ceilings and shit. So I just have these lists of things to do, and then I also have so much to edit, and I also have t-shirts. It's getting really overwhelming, but the lists are going to help. We're going to keep that going. That's really all I have to talk about today. Yes, trivia. I think we may have actually asked this trivia question before. But if you answer the trivia question correctly, you get a free pack of Ninja Lifestyle stickers. I have 2. If you won last week or the week before, your sticker pack is packed and ready to go. I just haven't physically walked it out to the mailbox yet because I'm a lazy fat slob. The question is, what is the only mammal that lays eggs? Kind of sounds like a dick joke, right? What is the only mammal that lays eggs? Oh, me laying my dick eggs on your mom's face. Yeah, we'll work on that. What is the only mammal that lays eggs? Satrib, you are the winner, but you don't live in America. Satrib, you get to pick the winner from the chat. Whoever you pick gets the prize. Moving on, last night I got home after a couple of beers. I wanted to go to the bar, but nobody wanted to drop me off at the bar, so I just got dropped off at home. And I watched Rush Hour in HD. I've only seen Rush Hour on like cable TV, blurry old TVs. I've never watched it in like 4K, upscaled HD. And it is so much funnier to be able to see, I guess just to see like the funny facial expressions that Chris Tucker makes. I almost said Chris Rock. What the fuck? That Chris Tucker makes. It's so much funnier watching it like this, and I smoke some weed. And I never realized how comedic of, like, obviously it's like a crime show, right? I never watched it and considered it like a nonstop comedy. And it really is. I've never watched Rush Hour and like thought of it like Superbad, where like every single thing is kind of a joke. But it really is. It's a nonstop comedy. And I was taking mental notes. I was like, how many times in this movie has Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker aimed a gun at each other's heads? They're just aiming guns at each other's heads in the middle of the public street. And you think to yourself, like, number one, I'm not going to let anyone point a gun at my fucking head. Number two, if this is all happening outside, no one's noticing these guys. They're just handing guns to each other. At one point, dude, Chris Tucker climbs up on top of like a tourist bus, and instead of climbing up and being like, I got you, he climbs up, and the first thing you see is a gun go over the rail and go straight to Jackie Chan's head. It's like, I got you. Jackie Chan's not even a criminal. He's the good guy. And I don't know. Obviously, I'm sure you guys have laughed and already thought of this stuff, but it's just so obnoxious. Rather than saying hello, he just points a gun at his head. I found you. Oh man. Yeah, I really loved it. I loved it. I'm moving it high now that I've watched it in HD. I'm moving it up into my top 20 movies of all time. Just because I guess I never appreciated just how obnoxious it was. Because some of those scenes, you in the middle of the movie, you're like, oh wait, this is a kidnapping movie. But then also you're like, wait a minute, dude. Which one of y'all kicked me? It's no longer a fighting movie. It's whatever. Maybe I'm just saying the obvious. It's just funny, and just seeing Chris Tucker's faces. If you just focus on just his face during these longer scenes, it's so funny. I tried to watch the Charlie Sheen documentary. I got 15 minutes in, I turned it off. I don't care about Charlie's career. I think he's so fucking cocky about, like, I don't know anyone, like, I get it, you make money, you're a good looking guy, you had a great career. I don't know how people can be so hyped on, like, just being shitty, like being bad at everything, you know? Like, you ever be at the bar? I've never heard anyone brag, like laughingly brag about doing a fatal amount of drugs. I mean, like, but it couldn't kill me though, because I'm strong. And I'm like, no, this isn't a story about you being strong. This is a story about you being almost the dumbest, maybe a dumber than an animal. So I don't get the bragging. Like, yeah, my body's so tough, I did fucking 10 grams of cocaine and I lived. I'd be like, oh, I don't think we need this many dumb people on Earth. The kind of drugs, sometimes it's not, it's, you know. I guess I'm not saying that I want something bad to happen to this guy. I just mean bragging about being dumb is weird. I guess I make jokes sometimes about me not knowing where India is on a map, but that doesn't involve me like potentially overdosing while not knowing where India is. Also, I don't actually think that I'm dumb. Anyways, Charlie Sheen, I couldn't get into it. He just doesn't. He's not a likable guy to me, and his show, fucking 3.5 minutes. That show fucking sucks. Like, I don't know why I'm supposed to be a fan. Also, I think him and his prime was maybe before my time. Anyways, that's all I got for the podcast today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Give me a hell yeah in the chat so I can shout out everyone who chose to tune in live. We do this podcast every single Friday right around 3:30 p.m. Pacific time right here on twitch.tv/Ninja Lifestyle. I thought we'd only make it 25 minutes. We made it a whole 45 minutes. Can you freaking believe that? Hope everyone out there is having a great weekend. Shout out to iBookBoy, Ronstop, Captain Chloroform, Day, Satrib, and everyone else in there lurking. Extra big shout out to iBookBoy for resubscribing for his 54th month in a row. I appreciate the support. You guys can also send money if you want. If you don't have any money, you can support the podcast by telling a friend. Tell your best friend. Tell your worst enemy, tell your brother or your sister or your coworker about the greatest podcast ever. If you have iTunes, go on to iTunes and leave a positive review on this podcast. Just type in Stop Crying Poser. This podcast comes out, the repeat comes out on Sunday on iTunes, on Podbean, on Spotify, on podcast app, anywhere where a podcast can be found. You can find this podcast. That's it. I hope everyone has a great weekend. Look out for those t-shirts. I promise you guys are going to like them. And as I always say, don't drink too much and don't drink too little. Have you seen that new Ninja Lifestyle video where he's super serious? No. Oh, let's play it.
Cleaper, 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 clip, 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 clip.
Doesn't that sound serious? Why, yes, it does.